Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Vagrus the Riven Realms. Last time we were in the middle of helping Sedarias with his quest when we got waylaid by Ilani's wayward husband, and we told her to kick him to the curb because he was no good for her. And that's where we left off. So we're gonna try and get back on the horse with regards to picking up where with Sedarias' quest here. We're supposed to take him out to Arenas Negras and get him to listen to the voices. So we're gonna do that today. Gotta make a pit stop in Ash real quick. Some stuff to drop off here, as well as some stuff for Avernum. I don't see anything else to take to Avernum, so I might... Got some stuff to take to Devon, but that's the opposite direction. I think I'll ditch my... Somebody did the math, like napkin math, on whether or not this was good or not to sell the Beasts of Burden and the labor that goes with managing the Beasts of Burden, and there wasn't like a solid conclusion on whether or not it's like worthwhile or worth holding on to your beasts or not. Basically, it comes down to like, if you're traveling far enough without resources, there's no reason to take the Beasts of Burden with you, as well as the extra labor, so you might as well drop down. And I don't know exactly what the distance breakdown would be, because every time you camp, you don't use supplies for those people or have to pay them. I guess slaves you never pay, but still. Anyway, the days are just plain... Oh, wait, this is not where we were. We lost movement. No! We're 2 away. I bet I can't even forage. The game did me dirty. All right, in we go. They tricked me with the art. Okay. You know the place quite well. This is the stretch of bleak dark sand where you dug up Sedarias. This is where he is supposed to listen to the mysterious voices he had heard speak to him during his slumber, to perhaps reveal the source of his reanimation, at least according to Octavius. Shall we proceed? The knight walks up to you enthusiastically. I believe that I should have found the right place and see if the voices return. I have no way to know how long it'll take, but I'll see that as another reason not to tarry. You take a look around with the knight. The Comitatus comes to a halt. Some of the crew fans out with you, and Sedarias at the lead. Anxiety soon manifests on your comes, and no wonder. The Black Desert is closer now, and you could swear that an eerie glow is on the horizon to the north. It is an accursed, fearful place that most sane travelers give a wide berth. This is certainly the place, but I do not believe anything will happen, unless, Sedarias says suddenly, I am left alone. Send them back, Vagrus. A handful should stay close to me, but I don't need the others, craven as they are. Pick a small group to stay and send the others back. Oh, 1 out of 4, minimum of 2. Okay, why don't we do the group that we fought the knights at the temple with? I think that'll work. On your orders, the Comitatus draws back to settle down at a safe distance, about a mile from where you currently are. You and the group you have picked for this idol close to Sedarias, who sits down on a lonely rock close to where he slumbered. Hours go by without anything of note. After a while, the droning of the wind and the twilit sky lull you into a weird drowsiness. Your faltering focus is drawn little by little to the eerie pale glow over the northern horizon, until you feel strangely compelled to go there. Just when that call is about to overcome the drowsiness, Sedarias suddenly stands up. I can hear it, he states, resonating in his voice. Shaking off the oppressive torpor, you and your companions walk towards him. Then Sedarias starts walking. The dark night walks straight ahead towards the northern horizon, where you are occasionally glance a glimpse of that sinister light. Worried, you ask Sedarias what is going on, but he just walks ahead, unable or unwilling to answer. You are about to ask your companions to restrain him when the knight stops in his tracks and cocks his head as if he were listening to something quiet. One of your companions points to the northwest. Turning, you can see something moving fast in that direction, emitting a low glow. Moments later, you realize that it is not one thing, but many smaller ones. A coterie of what looks like glowing wisps of pale blue light is racing your way. Dread dread washes over you and the others, but you do not know why. You give the order to be prepared for anything, nonetheless. Malevolent spirits, Sedarias says, his focus apparently having returned to the here and now. The luminous horde gets closer, and you realize that the night is right. They are spectral undead in a form you have not seen before. We must stand and fight, he announces, and you quickly arrange the group into a battle formation while Sedarias prays to the gods. Is he not? He just kneels down and he's not going to help me? Moments later, the screeching undead host is almost upon you. Oh, yes. I actually had this thought a moment ago and I forgot to say it out loud as I was like, I hope I didn't need the blessing of unbinding to fight these ghosts. Our arms shall be imbued with the wrath of Sargarod, Sedarias announces, and then reaches with an armored hand toward the advancing ghosts, and immediately the three of them shake, scream, and then dissipate. Oh, sick! What a cool power! The rest fall upon you in a cavalcade of screeching and pale blue light. You have to fight for your lives. Whoa! What are you? 15 vitality? Mortis Spectre. They wiggle in unison. Alright, Sedarias. Oh, you know what? There's more of you on this side. So we'll stack up on this side. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Woo! Mortis Scream. Oh my god! Holy cow! Stop it. You cannot. She's stunned. I was gonna say, you cannot just blast the crap out of my mage in one go. That's cheating. Let's buff Sedarias. I think I'm gonna need it. Please don't miss. God. All right, I regret taking Garrick with me. Oh, she's down. They're gonna bleed her to death. She's already stunned again. You. That's ruthless. How could you do this? She didn't even get a single attack off. Bomb, please. Don't miss. It didn't do anything. All right, I picked the absolute worst squad. Yes, Sedarias kills everyone. Gorgoro just hit this guy in the front. Holy crap, them killing Nadir. What the hell? They're so strong. Please crit. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, reload your gun, my man. Maybe I should be using his ruin. Rune, not ruin. Yeah, attack my tanks, you jerks. All right, another one's dead. Owie. Them being at the back line seems useful. Holy god, he crit him from full health. Sedarias is a genius. Oh, that's what I wanted to see the first round. This is going much better now that Nadir has expired. Except for Gorgoro's health is pretty bad. How dare you? What is this? Oh, he's buffing himself again. I assume I need to swap. He evaded. I was gonna say, I think I have to swap where Sedarias is, but the guy moved over, so now I can hit him again. Don't miss. Yes! If only you had done that from the get-go. We might not have lost Nadir in the way we did. Accursed souls from Arx Mortis, Sedarias concludes after the last horrifying undead are dispatched, their screams echoing over the blackened sands. I have heard that twisted souls swarm around that lost city, but no tale of them ever leaving its close vicinity, much less leaving the desert. You remind him that the wasteland often works in confounding ways, but it does not seem to put the knight at ease. Regardless, before they descended upon us, the depraved wretches as they are, I heard the voices again, speaking to me more clearly now. They told me I was called back for a reason, that I have a destiny, a pivotal role to play, and as to what that entails, or Sedarias pauses, apparently confused. What matters is that I heard something else, the mention of a certain Thalanis. I remember that name from my days at the monastery, a famous necromancer who later became one of the 12, as I recall. Ooh, important. Satisfied that you did not come here in vain, you tell Sedarias that perhaps the time has come to put some distance between yourselves and this accursed place. Aye, the knight rasps after a brief moment of silence. Octavius shall know more about Thalanis, as well as what we are supposed to do with this knowledge. Entering the desert would be folly. The fact that I was able to hear the voices here seems to reinforce my suspicion that the desert, nay, Arx Mortis, might be indeed tied to my return to the realms. Without knowing more, however, I fear that journeying into the heart of darkness would end in disaster. You express your agreement with the notion. Back to to Octavis, then, Sedarias states. Not wishing to stay a moment longer in this forsaken place, you take the group back to the Comitatus. The next quarter of an hour is spent in quiet contemplation as you walk back to where the Comitatus is. You are a few stones throw away when the alarmed yells rise from your comies. Some of them are shouting warnings and pointing in your direction. Looking back toward Arx Mortis, you see another host of specters approaching, only much larger this time. Uh-oh. It would seem that Arenas Negras is not quite done with you yet. Unbelievable, Sedarias rasps angrily. Out here? That is unheard of. There is no time to contemplate the implications. Your group rushes forward to reunite with the Comitatus, with you shouting orders before even reaching the crew. The expedience is well justified. The spectral host crashes into the Comitatus moments later like a malevolent pale blue flood flow. The battle unfolds momentarily. 22, 198, moderate chance of success. We do have our main magic wielder out, which is not good. Can we makeshift barricade against ghosts? They respect the barricade. Do we want to call their ranks? Because that was scary. Although I should be able to fight with 6 of my companions instead of just the 4. So, and we have the Blessing of Unbinding. So let's mount up our whole crew. In case anybody dies. And then call makeshift, or call their ranks. Here we go. And there's only 4 of them, thank God. All right, you 4. Is Sedarias available? Yeah, he's not too beaten up. A little beaten up. And then I guess I could go with Harvick. But I honestly don't like the idea of him bouncing back and forth. We'll just have Ren sit at the back and throw daggers at people. Begin. All right, Krifta. Good shot. Well done. She crit. I couldn't see for how much. Didn't kill him. He evaded, though. Well done. Evade forward? No, I don't want you to evade. Evade sideways. There we go. That's okay. Shoot this dude. Yes! All right, Sedarias, instead of buffing yourself, see if you can get the double kill. You got a single kill. And that guy moved. Weird. Boost Sedarias again. Or so he can attack twice. And then daggers this fool. Please don't miss. Yes, I was gonna say, please don't miss twice. Ouchies? Stop that. They really like to focus fire like one target. Holy God. Sedarias hitting crits is like the greatest thing. Sedarias and Krifta together I could see being very, very strong. As long as you get the crits off, which, you know, is not a guarantee. Rune? Hey, he did some damage. Still alive. I guess block. And then Ren finish him off? Yes. All right, that went really well. We got 4 down, 18 to go. Please don't kill all of my people. All right, you took Harvick and 1 man. Did we win? We failed, of all things. All right, we're still at a pretty high chance to succeed, though. What a terrible roll. 4% to fail. Get him again. All right, we're losing. We're hemorrhaging companions at an alarming rate. Did we fail again? That was a success. All right, go again. Lots more people. They are retreating. I'm okay with that. Pursue for a 99% chance to beat them? We've lost a lot of fighters. Let's go for it, whatever. I don't know, man. All right, we win, I think. Give them time to heal up. Maybe we'll recover some companions. We recovered some fighters. Still lost some people in the process, but holy cow, my whole fighting crew is down. We lost 9 horsemen. Got a lot of supplies, though. And some spectral residue. I need that for my gate enhancement. Squirrel it away. Never let anybody touch it. When the last of the screaming spirits are vanquished, a ragged cheer washes over the Comitatus. Sedarias raises his 2-hander into the air, bathing in the glory of a hard-fought victory. After you make certain that no more specters are approaching, you join in the improvised celebration, but before long you give the order to depart. There's no telling what else the wasteland can throw at you. Sedarias walks up to you when everyone has finally been accounted for and you're ready to set out. I wish to express my appreciation for your continued assistance, Vagrus. He tells you in a low, grinding voice, as if saying it caused him discomfort. And as you are very well aware, you are kind, and I haven't exactly had a spotless history, but time and again you've come through for the right cause. You propose, rhetorically, that his current cause is the right one. He does not seem to take the hint. Evidently, he rasps. Can you not see how all this must be the will of the gods? There is no other explanation, and as a reward I have decided to grant you the blessing of the gods if you so wish. From now on, come to me in the evening when there is enough time for a proper rite. Bring sacrifice. You shall receive the boon of the gods as long as you stay true to the triumvirate's teachings, and do right by me. Do so, and I swear to bless you so that we can face our foes better prepared. You tell Sedarias that you will consider this. I don't know what he's talking about, but I am interested in anything that makes my people better fighters. You would do well to do so. He leans closer. We need every advantage we can get. Exactly, that's what I was thinking. In another quarter of an hour, you are on your way again. Gain some insight, gain some morale, and Sedarias gain loyalty. Sick. Get out of here. I don't want to be in the Black Sand Desert anymore. Let's camp out here. Oh man, there goes all our vigor. Rough. We're going to head to Avernum, though. Our people should heal up as we go because we have pretty good herbalism stats. Helps out with the healing and whatnot. We need to get down here. Oh! Oh, come on! Can I buy you off? Of all the things to throw at me while I'm so wounded, I can give you one rare jewelry to leave me alone. I'm totally okay with that. It's like 16 bros, but that is totally fine with me. Good lord, what a terrible thing to throw at me while my fighters are wounded and my vigor is so low. I was just thinking about this. I should have done this when we started the video. Nadir lost some vitality. We should have equipped my dwarven compass. I totally forgot. I mean, I didn't forget I had it. I forgot I had to equip it. But now I get plus one extra movement and navigation. The extra movement is what I've been after this whole time, but that's so sick. It's been 10 years in game, and I'm like, I finally found a dwarven compass. Things are finally looking up. All right, into Avernum. Approach the guards. Nothing to hide. We will turn in the one mission I had with 8 days to spare. And let's see if the wizard on the hill in Canis has another demon horn. Sorcerer's items. Yes, demon horn. Now I have 2. Now I can make the armor that Gorgoro so desired. Goodbye, mage. It was nice talking with you. To the forges. Off to the Anvil of Thadras. Discuss Gorgoro's armor. We brought the dragon steel. We don't need to haul that around anymore. Aye, this'll do, he grunts and then turns back to his work. Gorgoro thanks you for the medal. And brought the demon horns. The old dwarf takes the demon horns and looks at them and then shakes his head at Gorgoro. Oi, you know what that'll... Wait a minute. Oi, know that you want to scare your foes, but this horn business is just plain foolish, I tell you. You look like a goat, not a demon. The orc warrior chuckles. Just put them on the helmet, you old fool, he says, and Thadras gets back to his work, grumbling under his breath. The horns shall stay, apparently. You have delivered everything for the armor. With all the materials and tools in place, forging can begin. Thadras takes some measurements just to be sure, and then claims that he shall be finished with the suit in a month's time. Okay, it is month 12, day 11. Dokar appears sweating, trying to convince his father to provide a more lenient time frame for the difficult task at hand, but his father dismisses his worries. This is me most important work for now, he tells everyone, and then gets to it. I don't expect us to sit around for a month, of course, Gorgoro tells you, but I'd appreciate it if we returned in a timely fashion for the armor. Can't wait to get my hands on it. He's clearly excited, but you have to take your leave for now. Yeah. I definitely want to be back for the armor because I assume that's just the end of Gorgoro's loyalty quest. We're just getting all of our companion quests knocked out. I think we're down to just Ren. because we finished Elani and Nadir and Garrick. Oh, and Harvick still needs to. Harvick is such a tricky one because you just like randomly run into people that you have to kill, and I don't look up stuff about it, so I'm like, I don't know where to go. All right, so we need to go back to Devon, I believe, if we look at Sedarias' quest here. Yeah, we need to go back to Devon to talk to Octavius. I should continue giving stuff to Ren so he can continue searching lifesteal, because that's like his goal in life. But before we head back to Devon, let's look for some missions that we can do for people. We do need to get more Beasts of Burden. So this is exactly where I was talking about, is like, I don't know if this ends up being the right amount of people. Let's get all the fighters. We would like 3 more horses, and then we need more slaves. I don't know if this ends up being like costing you money for selling people and then buying them back shortly thereafter. It's like easy to make the argument that you could, but you could also make the argument the other way around. It's hard to say. Okay, so we would like to take this one to Ash, I believe, because Ash usually has a mission or 2 to take to Devon. We could take this one that goes all the way to Devon as well, but it's kind of a lower tier mission, although it's only 2 slots, so let's go ahead and do it. Another one for Ash. 11 inventory is wild. Yeah, and what I'm gonna do actually is I will fill out the supplies I have, but rather than buying a bunch of supplies in Avernum, I think I'll just fill up at Amphalat because they're cheaper. It's only 2 days away, so let's head out. Back to Devon we go. Just a lot of traveling lately. Get that vigor back up so we can force march a little bit. Zoom. All right, pop in here. Buy all the supplies you can. Yeah, usually Amphalat doesn't have anything useful to do as far as like transport missions, but yeah, I always check just in case. All right, so let's rest and then we will force march tomorrow. Nadir, could you like heal up for real this time? she keeps like gaining and then losing vitality. It's wild. All right, force marching, ahoy. It's like another full day's worth of travel that we just got. If you get lucky, you might gain some vitality back just on your own, but not always the case. She healed from wounded, finally. I think that's the thing that can cause people to lose health, is that if you're at the wounded status, you actually can lose health. Ah, this is exactly what I was talking about. Is like you can take stuff to Devon from Ash, and it's pretty solid. Because Sunrock is only like a day away, I don't think I want to sell my people this time, and beasts. I think we can get away with the supplies we have, though. Yeah, it's like 6 to 8 days. It'll be close, but I think we can do it, especially if we force march a little bit along the way. So let's zoom along the road. Let's generate our vigor back up. And we might get lucky and be able to rest in Sunrock and get some free vigor for living in the stables or whatever. But we'll see. Not quite. We'll get the vigor back today. Then we pop into Sunrock here just to pick up some stuff on the way to Devon. There's 2, 4, 2. And I guess there's some stuff we could take all the way to Torzeg Shelter if we end up going that way. But the real question is do we end up going that way? I have no idea. if we're going to head back to Torzeg Shelter for Sedarias' missions or not. So it's kind of a gamble. You know what? We're almost at the end of the episode. We're going to check in with Sedarias' buddy, and then if it turns out we need to go somewhere other than Torzeg Shelter, I'll just run to Torzeg Shelter off camera, and I'll make some sweet money doing it. It's a win-win. Nobody loses. Pay the road to I lose. They heard me talking crap. These taxmen, I once I get to level 5 with House Venari, or whoever it is I'm so close to House 5 with, I'm gonna be set for life. I've probably lost like 2,000 bros to the taxman. I swear to God. It's a lot. And I realize he's just kind of like a mechanism for making sure there's like something that keeps you from just scaling out of control. But man, is the taxman annoying. God, I hate that guy. All right, into the city. All right, we're smuggling some stuff. So let's smuggle. We've succeeded. One of these days, we're going to find out what happens when you get caught. But it is not this day. Turn these things in. Fantastic news. All right. Still got some supplies going, but we have 18 spaces of inventory. Let us go visit with Octavius again. Find the necropolis where Octavius, the friend of Sedarias, resides. Abandon... We already read all this. Visit Octavius in his necropolis. Sedarias is here to talk about hearing the voices again. Okay. Octavius has you and Sedarias sit down on the stone benches in front of his hovel and listens to the knight's account of what happened at the border of Arenas Negras. The Lanus, you say... Oh, wait. What voice did I give this guy? The Lanus, you say? It's kind of like Gorgoro. The necromancer asks and scratches his chin. The Lanus of Calderum, one of the original apostles of the Emperor. I suppose... Oh, wait. I suppose so, although the voices were not clear. Who else would it be? Sedarias posits. Before the calamity, he was the patriarch of Calderum, city of light. Octavius switches into an educating tone. Founding his induction into the cadre of the 12, he was renamed Armoros. He held the title of Keeper of Tomes until his ultimate demise during the later decades of the Restoration period, one of the first from the original 12 to perish permanently. While he was a member of their cadre, he gained the monikers the Accursed One and the Clairvoyant, but I'm not certain of the reason for these. You'd mentioned his demise, Sedarias interrupts Octavius. What happened? Black dragons? No, at least not as far as we know, the necromancer clarifies, although honestly there is very little verified knowledge to go on about Armoros. Priests whisper that he was looking into forbidden secrets. The church is mum on the matter, of course. Theories exist of him researching magic that would protect one from the worst effects of the calamity, as well as other curses. He did explore some of the more perilous runes of the Third Age, yet much of this could be conjecture. It was such a long time ago. Is there a chance that he returned to his city? Sedarias asks after considering all you have heard. Calderum is the old name of Arx Mortis, after all. My research is seemingly connected to that place in Arenas Negras. Most probably, Octavius nods. I remember reading that his last known venture was trying to get there, actually, and the official account, that he was destroyed by some fallout of the calamity, is certainly a fabrication. Someone as powerful as he was, someone responsible for the famous litany of lemurs. Lemurs? I don't know. It is doubtful to have perished so. Litany? The undead knight inquires. Yes, as you all know, the calamity's effects often cause the dead to rise up and attack the living, even these days, so far removed from the cataclysm. Octavius explains, the litany is a divine chant that, when empowered by an exalted priest or holy relic, defends against undead threats and malignant sorceries. Armoros had need of such enchantments to be able to pursue his inquiry into the most accursed ruins. You ask the necromancer who or what lemurs are. Lemurs? Lemurs? I don't know. I know this is a D&D demon. I don't know how to pronounce it. The Malevolent Dead, he elucidates, a lesser-known name used by the triumvirate cults for all undead beyond the church's sanctions and control, but especially those that display great enthusiasm and initiative in tormenting the living, be they haunting specters or shambling abominations. Does the litany still exist? Sedarias interjects impatiently. Perhaps it could be used to reach Arx Mortis. My studies suggested that only fragments remain, though the church might have reconstructed the entirety or part of the litany since I was at the university. Octavius tells the knight, if so, it would be a powerful tool in the right hands. It would certainly allow you to reach Arx Mortis unharmed by its corrupted necromantic energies. I believe that I can look into this for you. Give me a few days so that I can discuss the matter with my Suddenly, the necromancer falls quiet and turns his head to the side as if listening to something. Odd, he says softly. My wards near the entrance have just gone silent all at once. Something is amiss. Sedarias wastes no time, rising from his bench and turning towards the tunnel that leads into the necropolis. Even now you can see a group of people entering the large cavern it occupies. Raising his hand, Octavius begins walking there. Let me see what this is, he murmurs, but Sedarias walks after him nonetheless. You follow them from a distance. Octavius stops farther away from the newcomers than you, and Sedarias, while the two of you take cover instinctively behind a mausoleum once you are closer. From here you can see that the intruders are Imperials who belong to the various branches of the Triumvirate Church. There are the Knights of the Black Sun among them, but also executors and priests of Sergorod, necromancers, and even scantily clad witchers who could only be kindly sisters of the Nosferatus sisterhood. You glimpse at Sedarias, who is grinding his teeth. Gods below, it's him! He rasps. You follow his ember-like gaze to the leader of the group, an aging knight who still walks with a straight back and is built imposingly. This does not bode well for us, Vagrus. Warden of the Necropolis, the old knight shouts at Octavius. I am Knight Templar Canarius, and I have reason to believe that you are aiding and abetting a fugitive, a traitor of Ordis Negra Solis. We are here to apprehend him. Hand him over, and we shall depart without incident, leaving you to your duties. On whose authority are you here, Dominus? Octavius asks without a hint of fear. I recognize none of your associates, not even those who seem to be members of the church, of our school, and the holy order whose sacred duty I am to perform here, as you imply. And that includes protecting this necropolis along with everyone in it, be they alive or dead, or in between. So you have proof of the authority to trespass in this hollow ground and make demands? The old knight smiles in a cruel way. His cold gaze finds the spot where you are hiding. Come out, Parvus, he yells. I know that you are here. Face me like the man I taught you to be. There is no reason to draw this out, to paint our blades with the blood of misled bystanders, is there? Don't make me do anything we'd regret, son. Sedarias leaves the cover of the mausoleum. He is seething with rage. You can see Octavius turn and realize that an altercation is now almost certainly impossible to avoid. The sadness is clear on his wizened features. Sedarias steps close to his old friend and stares at the old knight. So, you have come, master, your undead companion states. Of all those they could send, it must be you, is that it? Who else to send but the best? Canarius retorts with pride, but then his demeanor switches into a more diplomatic one, perhaps even kind. They also knew that perhaps you'd listen to me, and listen well now, Parvus. You must know that you are in the wrong, slaying our brethren, throwing in your lot with vagrants, criminals, and lesser beings. Excuse me, I helped this dude out. Returning without the bestowed blessings and proper rites of the church. You know as well as I that you've become an abomination. Yet if you surrender your blade now and come in peace, you can retain your honor. And my existence, the voice of Sedarias grinds like the lid of a sarcophagus. Do I retain that too, master? No, Canarius says without feeling. But with the proper rites, you can rest in peace. Tartarus awaits. So, they got to you in the end, Sedarias points accusingly at Canarius. They'd have you slay me instead of listening to me, instead of letting me fight for what I believe is right, to prove that I'm right, the way you taught me, whatever has become of you. Oh, this is not you, Parvus, the old knight argues. You have always been better at following orders than striking out on your own, remember? Cease this impertinent quarrel and surrender. Do not call me a child, old man, Sedarias growls, his anger at full display now. You left me when the Order found out about your corrupt ways. All that after lecturing me on the purity of intent, and thought about for how many years? Do you think that I hadn't figured it out? Oh, well, good for you. Canarius sighs, apparently having realized that this conversation is going nowhere. It's too late to grow up and have thoughts of your own. Sedarias raises his blade in anger, and Canarius waves his hand at his cronies. Soon they are upon you and Octavius. A fight breaks out among the gravestones and funerary buildings. I hope I am healed up enough for this. Alright, at least Sedarias is back to full. Okay, it looks like everybody but Sedarias is, or Nadir is actually healed up, and that's good because she's at the back. Let's swap you guys around. Although, do you guys have armor? None. What about this guy? 1, 3. Okay, yeah, we definitely need to have Gorgoro in the middle here. Sedarias, can you move? Please? Sedarias? He's stuck in the middle. All right, fine. You get to stand in the middle for some reason. Go. Roll well with initiative, please. Ah, good. Let's try and stun the Necromancer? And a crit on top of it. Fantastic. Who can we kill fast? Probably the skeleton. Break this guy's armor. He blocked it and still took 5 damage. That's so strong. All right, Sedarias, buff yourself. Get ready to get smacked around. We've been cursed. We've been stabbed, but for 0 damage. Oh, yes! Gunshot time! Suck it. All right, throw down your flames. That'll do good. Ouch. Ah, not good. Oh, that's what I was worried about. All right, kill this dude, maybe? Yes! Burn these 2 fools. Well done. Sedarias, execute this Skeleman. No, I bet Eilani can kill that guy. Oh, I was hoping for a crit. Oh. There we go. Maybe bomb the back row. Oh, we killed the guy with the bomb. Wonderful. All right. Incoming. Aha, missed me, nerd. He tried to curse me again, but I blocked it. You guys are at the very back. I think you're toast. Roasted and toasted. That was so much easier than the ghost fight. Holy cow. With some of the adversaries defeated, you take stock of your surroundings. Octavius was separated from you and your companions at the onset of the altercation and faced off against Canarius, waving some thralls from the very necropolis under his care to defend himself. Just as you are about to reinforce him, the Knight Templar slays 2 skeleton warriors protecting the Necromancer with a single strike of his warhammer, then sends Octavius flying in a follow-up strike. Severely wounded, Sedarius' friend crashes into a tombstone and collapses onto the cold ground. The undead knight lunges forward to rush to the Necromancer's aid, but Canarius bars his path. "See what you'd make me do, Parvis," he asks your companion, panting. "Don't force me to hurt them. There aren't many of them left, are there?" He grins at Sedarias. "I'd hate to have to beat you into submission, too." "Spare me your theatrics, old man," the undead knight retorts. "We both know that you have never had any trouble with beating me senseless, not when I was but a boy, nor later." "I didn't do it often enough to teach you some morals, it seems," Canarius scowls, taking up a fighting stance. "God knows that I tried. You should be grateful, yet here you are, defying me." "Morals, you say?" Sedarias chuckles darkly. "Wasn't it you who was caught red-handed and deemed a disgrace to the Order? Enough with your drivel, old fool. Your teachings were lies, and you never ever cared about your ploy to elevate yourself into the seat of a Grand Master. Yet your folly came to the stigma that I, too, had to bear. You are in no position to lecture me on morals. I, at least, never gave up my principles, Master. My teachings," Canarius spits, angrier now, "made you who you are, boy. They were meant to turn me into a mindless servant, to take the fall for your despicable deeds, and to do your dirty work," Sedarias rasps triumphantly. "Yet your ruthless attempts were in vain. I am a servant of the gods and no one else. Thus I was raised by the salient will, while you remain a lapdog of the corrupt old fools who believe they run the Order." Red-faced, Canarius howls incomprehensibly in utter rage. And lunges at your companion. As the battle is joined, Octavius sends his last thrall to your aid. Oh, he's still alive then. We got a Nosferatus sister. We've got Knight Templar Canarius. He has 3 armor. And he's got a buddy, Knight of the Black Sun. He also has 3 armor. Lots of armor going around. You know, this thrall is more annoying than anything. I don't want to deal with this thrall. Can I get him out of here? All right, you take Eilani's spot, apparently. Fight. Begin. All right, let's focus fire his buddies. Crit for 9. Holy cow. Excuse me. Rude. Let's go ahead and try to kill this guy. Good. Now, Gogoro, break this guy's armor. Oh, crit for 8. What do you do, Thrall? What is this? What is this called? Oh, Grave Slash. And Necrotic Slash. Does it make magic damage? Is that any good? He's probably just there to soak up damage. Let's try to debuff these guys before we try to shoot them. Hey, it worked. Throw down your wards. That lady's expression when she gets warded, or probably any attack. Yeah, hit my skeleton around. Don't put her to the front. Excuse me. All right, I've had enough of this. Get this lady out of here. She can't be life tapping everybody around. Oh man, Sedarias being at the back sucks. All right, burn these two. Dead, wonderful. Skeleman, get back to the front. Shoot this fool. Suck it, nerd. All right, I'll deal with that. And now there's just one guy left. Not a problem. Except Gorgoro's all the way over there and can't really do anything. So just hang out, my man. I got nothing for you. Burn him. Sedarias, execute him. With 1 damage. Why do more than you have to? This is a long episode. Canarius falls back and onto his knees, the last attack having wounded him severely. Panting, he looks up, expecting the steel blade of Sedarias to come crashing down on him. But before that can happen, his remaining allies bar the undead knight's path. You then see that the new arrivals are entering the necropolis, reinforcements made up of legionnaires and executors, led by a Sargeradite high priest and a sister superior of the Nosferatus. The latter has a gaggle of bound and restrained slaves with her, and she slits the throats of half a dozen right after she enters, and realizes Canarius's predicament. As the blood flows from the dying unfortunates' necks, the Nosferatus witch The Nosferatus witch casts a spell that gathers up the escaping life force of the sacrificial slaves and immediately grants it to the old knight. Canarius's gaping wounds close before your very eyes, and a fierce glow appears in his eyes as his body is contorted by the immense life force pouring into it. It dawns on you that this fight is one you cannot win. Flee! Oh wait, flee! I'll obstruct them! St. Claudius, protect us! Octavius shouts and holds a piece of carved bone. He casts a spell before Canarius and his cronies can engage. The ground shakes, and moments later, skeletal hands break out from the several graves nearby. Then several more, then scores more! There's an army of the undead, and they begin crawling, shambling, and stumbling toward your foes. Sedarias rushes to Octavius and picks him up, without much effort. That way... The necromancer manages with great effort, although whether because of his wounds or the concentration required to maintain the spell, you cannot say. He points feebly towards a crumbling, lonely mausoleum in the back of the cave. Carrying the wounded necromancer on his shoulders, Sedarias wastes no time and charges in the indicated direction. You and your companions follow without hesitation. I will find you, boy! You hear Canarius scream, yet he cannot pursue due to the macabre healing spell's aftershock and the veritable army of the dead now barring his way. For everyone he cuts down, several more spring up to bar his path. It buys you enough time for you to make it to the mausoleum the necromancer pointed to. Inside the dark, moldy structure, you find a portcullis that Sedarias breaks with a decisive kick. Beyond yawns a tunnel leading into utter darkness. Trusting Octavius, the knight leads your group down the corridor. Stumbling, you and your companions follow him. Even later on, you cannot recall how you made your escape, rushing down the dark corridors, taking turns in what feels like a maze, bruising yourself on the walls of the claustrophobically small tunnels. It is all a blur that you feel you could have lasted anywhere between a quarter of an hour or a quarter of a day. Octavius keeps moaning and pointing Sedarias the right way in the labyrinth. At length, you reach a portcullis that opens into a cave containing a well in an abandoned part of the Hintercaves. By now, the necromancer has fallen silent. You shake off your strange daze only when the grate clangs shut behind you. Sedarias places Octavius on the ground to see what shape he is in, but even before that, you can tell there is nothing to be done. The necromancer is dead. In his hand, he still clutches the carved finger bones he used to cast the unbelievably potent necromancy spell. Finger bones of St. Claudius of Myrrhus, Sedarias says almost softly. You used up your own life force to channel the spell, old friend. The knight turns towards you. Why would he do that? You tell him that Octavius must have thought it was the only way to ensure that Sedarias escapes. The knight ponders this for a minute and then takes the carved finger bones. Your debt is settled, he tells the corpse and then proceeds to wrap it in the man's long robes. He turns to you again. I'll carry him back to the Comitatus. For his noble sacrifice not to be in vain, we must press on. The knight's voice is even monotone. I expect you to honor this act of selflessness, too. Fear not, Vagrus. Canarius will fall to my blade. For this when the time is right, and we shall find what I am looking for. To achieve that, we are to reach Arx Mortis, of that I am certain. No doubt we will require the litany of lemurs, so we should start there. You offer your continued support to Sedarias. You tell Sedarias you no longer wish to be a part of this. Begone, sir. I expected as much, he tells you coldly, but then reconsiders and adds in a warmer tone. I am grateful for it. However, make no mistake. You ask him exactly how he is planning to learn the litany. We'll follow Octavius's suggestion, Sedarias declares. You must talk to one of his superiors to learn about the holy text. You remind the knight that he might be a wanted man, and that considering that, it might not be the best idea to march into the necropolis of the great king. Nonsense, he waves a skeletal hand. It is now more than evident that Canarius is acting on behalf of a faction inside the Order, working alongside agents from various other groups. We have no bounty on our heads. No one else is looking for us regarding my case. That means until we run into Canarius again, we are safe to investigate. Well, at least you are. Thus, you must go to see an Osculite high priest and learn what you can about Armoros and the litany of lemurs. You tell him that you will see what you can do. I certainly hope so. The knight nods and then picks his friend up again. I'll leave for a while and take care of old Octavius here. See you at the Menzio. Well, why don't we offer our aid in the funeral? Get some more loyalty, maybe? Sedarias halts with Octavius in his arms and he looks at you. His gaze is different somehow, and the embers in his skull blazing with a low yet powerful intensity. You would do this? He asks you, and then when you confirm, he pauses briefly. You have my gratitude, Vagrus, but your kindness is unnecessary, he says at length. I would like to be alone with Octavius and perform the rites quietly by myself. A part of the reason is caution, but also it is something I have to do. In this way, I ask you to understand. You tell him that you do, and he bows his head slightly. With that, he takes his leave. True to his word, the knight does return some hours later, and he gives you the satchel Octavius carried. It has Osculite charms and the enchanted finger bones of St. Claudius in it. He tells you to keep them for later, as they might come in handy. We got some insight, a bunch of Osculite charms, and the Saint's finger bone. Cool. Well, that's a great place to pause the episode. Long one, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more Vagrus the Riven Realms or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Get your notifications going, and your like buttons going. They tell you when the videos go live, and that's a good thing to have for me. But until next time, everybody, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.